resistance. Trust cannot be demanded. It must be rebuilt slowly. The Metro Court pool became the perfect setting because it visually contrasted the emotional tension unfolding beneath the surface. Families laughed together. Children played. Vacation-like relaxation surrounded everyone. Yet Lulu and Charlotte could barely maintain a peaceful conversation. That contrast intensified every uncomfortable moment. Lulu repeatedly searched for opportunities to reach her daughter emotionally. She tried conversation. She tried patience. She tried understanding. Charlotte responded with emotional walls. Every answer felt guarded. Every interaction carried visible reluctance. It became increasingly clear that Charlotte wasn't simply resisting spending time with Lulu. She was protecting herself from disappointment. One of the hardest realities for parents to accept is that children often process pain differently than adults expect. Charlotte may not possess the emotional vocabulary necessary to explain exactly why she feels conflicted. Instead, those emotions emerge through distance, sarcasm, and rejection. Many viewers may initially interpret Charlotte's behavior as disrespectful. A closer examination suggests something much sadder. She appears afraid. Afraid that reconnecting with Lulu somehow means betraying Valentin. Afraid that loving one parent requires choosing between them. Afraid that opening herself emotionally could result in losing someone again. Those fears are understandable given everything she has experienced. Rather than expressing vulnerability directly, Charlotte chooses resistance because resistance feels safer than hope. Hope can be shattered. Distance feels easier to control. Lulu finds herself trapped inside an impossible situation. Every time she pushes harder, Charlotte retreats further. Every time she gives Charlotte space, that distance risks becoming permanent. There is no perfect strategy, only persistence. One encouraging detail emerged despite the conflict. Charlotte agreed to spend time with Lulu at all. That may sound insignificant, but emotionally it represents progress. Complete rejection would have meant refusing any interaction whatsoever. The fact that Charlotte showed up demonstrates that part of her still wants the relationship to improve. The problem is that wanting reconciliation and knowing how to achieve it are completely different things. The writers handled this emotional complexity remarkably well. Rather than forcing a sudden breakthrough, they allowed both characters to remain imperfect. Lulu occasionally appeared overly eager. Charlotte frequently seemed unnecessarily cold. Both reactions felt authentic. Real family healing rarely follows a straight path. It advances. It retreats. Sometimes one encouraging conversation is followed immediately by another painful argument. That inconsistency makes the relationship believable. As emotionally complicated as the mother-daughter conflict became, another subtle development quietly emerged at the pool. Charlotte developed a noticeable crush on Gio. At first glance, this seemed like a light-hearted subplot designed to provide relief from heavier storylines. However, soap operas rarely introduce romantic interests without future consequences. Teenage crushes often become catalysts for larger conflicts involving parents, friendships, jealousy, and identity. Charlotte's attraction to Gio may ultimately become another step in her emotional growth. Unlike the complicated adults surrounding her, Gio represents something refreshingly uncomplicated. He isn't asking Charlotte to choose sides. He isn't pulling her into family drama. He simply exists outside the emotional war consuming her parents. That alone makes him appealing. Young people naturally gravitate toward relationships that offer escape from chaos. Whether Gio realizes Charlotte has developed feelings remains uncertain. If he does, his response could significantly influence upcoming episodes. Should he reciprocate, Charlotte may finally experience a positive emotional connection independent of her family struggles. If he doesn't, heartbreak could further complicate her already fragile emotional state. Either outcome creates meaningful storytelling opportunities. Lulu also notices Charlotte's attention drifting toward Gio, adding another layer to their already strained afternoon. Instead of focusing entirely on repairing their relationship, Charlotte becomes distracted by the excitement of a teenage crush. Ironically, that may actually help Lulu in the long run. Romantic feelings often encourage teenagers to become more open emotionally. Charlotte may gradually lower some of the walls she has built around herself, allowing genuine conversations with Lulu to occur naturally rather than through forced attempts at reconciliation. Sometimes healing arrives from completely unexpected directions. Sometimes parents cannot solve problems directly. Sometimes life itself slowly creates opportunities for relationships to recover. The Metro Court pool scenes quietly reminded viewers that not every important battle involves crime, conspiracies, or dangerous enemies. Sometimes the hardest fight is convincing someone you love that you aren't giving up on them. And for Lulu, that fight is only beginning.